This is Ibadan, and this is also Ibadan. Ẹ káàbọ̀ ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi. Today, we're discussing the history and vibe of this legendary city, Ibadan, the city of brown roofs. I mean, let's face it, when people think of Ibadan, that's the first thing that pops into their head, the brown rooftops. So sit tight, grab your amala and apula, and let's dig into the roots of Ibadan. Ibadan isn't just a city of brown roofs, although many people like to joke about that. As J.P. Clark so famously described in his poem, Ibadan is a running splash of rust and gold flung and scattered among 7 hills like broken china in the sun. Now tell me that doesn't sound poetic. Professor John Pepe Clark really captured the essence of Ibadan, its elegance, magnificence, and even its contradictions. Now, some parts of the city might look brown, but those roofs, they're not just brown, they are rusted, and they are a testament to Ibadan's rich history. Those rusty roofs are like time capsules, showing us just how old Ibadan is. They tell the story of Ibadan's rich history, its ancient civilization. These roofs have seen it all, from the days of warriors to the rise of a modern metropolis. But hey, Ibadan is not stuck in the past. There's more to Ibadan than these rusted roofs. Those are just the top layer of an epic story that began long before Lagelu even founded the city as a war camp. Let's start from the top. Before we started calling it Ibadan, it was Ibadan, a place where travelers met, a sort of border town between the forest and the savannah. The name itself, Ibadan, literally means by the edge of the savannah. It was a fertile land, strategically placed, and naturally, it started growing into a settlement, even before the famous events that made Ibadan a powerhouse. But things really kicked off in 1829. Before then, Lagelu, the fierce warlord from Ile-Ife, had arrived in Ibadan. He wasn't just any warrior, he was Jagun Osun, the leader of warriors and a true descendant of royalty. He set up Ibadan as a war camp for fighters from Ife, Oyo, and Ijebu. Back then, Ibadan wasn't your regular city. It was like a big brother Niger house, but instead of gossips, they had spears and agbada with no evictions. And let's just say, drama always found its way into Ibadan. Now, here's where the drama peaked. During an Egungun festival, some kids and women accidentally saw the face of the masquerade. And that was a big no-no back then. It was a huge taboo. The Alaafin of Oyo Binu, he was very angry. And in his anger, he sent his army to deal with the Ibadan people for their disrespect. But Ibadan no dey carry last. Lagelu and his warriors were not about to go down without a fight. They stood their ground and fought the Alaafin's army for 3 years. Can you imagine? Eventually though, things got tough and Lagelu's people had to retreat to the top of Elele Hill. That's where they took refuge and lived off the land. Oro fruits, Arvingia gabonensis, and snails became their daily meal. And that's how the popular Ibadan praise line came about. Ṣé ẹ rántí oríkì Ibadan? Ibadan ọmọ àjòrò sùn, ọmọ àjẹ̀gbín yó, ọmọ àjẹ̀gbín jẹ̀ karahun, ọmọ àfi ìkarahun fórí mu. So yes, they had to depend on snails and oro for survival. Imagine that. But Ibadan people are resilient. And after some time, they came down from Elele and settled at a new location called Ori Inyogi, where they began to build the Ibadan we know today. From there, Ibadan exploded in size and importance. By the 19th century, it wasn't just a war camp, it flourished. Ibadan quickly became a major hub for trade, attracting people from all over Yoruba land. Blacksmiths were making guns, traders were dealing in all sorts of goods, and Ibadan was the heart of the region. And then came 1893. Ibadan officially became a British protectorate after a treaty signed by Baale Fijabi, the then Baale of Ibadan, with the British acting governor of Lagos, George C. Denton. And you know what? The first railway in Nigeria, the Lagos-Ibadan line, was completed in 1901 when the Dugbe train station was formally opened. Imagine, Ibadan had trains before some European countries. Talk about being ahead of the game. But Ibadan wasn't just about war and trade. It's also a city of many firsts. The first university in Nigeria, University of Ibadan. The first TV station in Africa, WNTV, now NTA. The first stadium in West Africa, Liberty Stadium, now Obafemi Awolowo Stadium. And of course, the first skyscraper in West Africa, Cocoa House. Ibadan is a city of pioneers, always leading the way. And it's not just about history. Today, Ibadan is a thriving modern city, where tradition meets modernity. It's like an emerging Silicon Valley in West Africa, with many tech startups opening up in the city. Ibadan is also one of the fastest growing cities on the continent and the third most populated city in Nigeria, with more than 3 million people living within the metropolis. Ibadan is a city of old and new, with something for everyone. Ibadan has amazing places like Agodi Gardens, a perfect place to chill and enjoy nature. And so you can go for a picnic there. Then you take a boat ride on the Elele Lake, or even check out the zoo at UI. And if you're feeling like a history buff, climb Bowers Tower and enjoy a panoramic view of the city. For all my shopaholics, you have many malls to pick from: Coco Mall, Ventura, Palm,